What's going on, guys? This is Mike with the 1% Mindset Podcast. I have Ravin here with me. How's it going, my good brother?
Everything going good, brother. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for hopping on. I definitely appreciate that. So I want to dive a little bit into your story, into your artwork, but I want to give you a chance to kind of do a brief intro of who you are so that people can kind of get a feel of who Ravin Lawson is.
Ravin Lawson, like you said, that's my birth name, my government. I also go by Ravin Just Fresh or Ravin Fresh or Just Fresh. But yeah, man, I'm just an average guy from Sanford, Florida. I went to college at the University of South Florida, and that's where I pretty much began my entrepreneurship whole mindset as far as kind of making money on my own, just off of my artwork. And that's kind of where everything got kicked off at USF. And I started out painting T-shirts, and from there moved on to canvases, and now I got fresh paints, which is pretty legit. So, that's a little bit about myself.
Okay, excellent. So you started off with shirts at USF, and I guess throughout that process you kind of went to canvases, and now you have Just Fresh. Now, Tell me a little bit about, I guess, transitioning from painting on shirts to canvases. What made that shift?
Well, I do so much different things, and I create art on so many different mediums and platforms that I'm always just looking to challenge myself. And I think that's like across the board throughout my whole life, but it really shines through in like my art and all my different businesses that I have, which all just come from me seeking a new challenge. So, I started painting on shirts, and that was the first time I really started painting, like, I would say fine arts or whatever, like with a small paintbrush. I've been painting my whole life. I used to paint houses and stuff with my dad growing up. So I've been painting, but as far as like little artsy things, painting on shirts was the first step. And then, from there, I feel like I guess I just did it so long. I did it for about 5 or 6 years. And I guess I just wanted to learn something different. So, it's the same paintbrushes, same paint, same, pretty much the same techniques, just a different medium that I'm painting on. But, yeah, it was just a challenge. Just a challenge is what got me, seeking something different.
Okay, so nothing changed. So I know a little bit about the story. So I know you were working for a while at was it like a shipping and packing company? It was an Amazon business. It was an Amazon store. They sell baby products. It's a pretty well-known store, so they're pretty legit. But yeah, I was the warehouse manager, so I was in charge of all shipping and receiving, and in charge of all the warehouse staff and everything like that. And you left and you quit and decided to go full time into your business. What was that feeling like?
Man, when I finally did it, it was awesome. It was like the most liberating feeling ever. But leading up to that moment, when I quit my job, was one of the most stressful times in my life, which finally led to me quitting my job. And the reason it was so stressful is because I had worked on that job for almost 4 years. And I was getting promoted and all these different promotions, but of course the pay is never going to reflect what, you think that you are worth to yourself. And that's just what I was going through mentally. By me being an employee that was now like a manager, I was working 50-plus hours a week sometimes. And then to me, I was like, man, I already know what I can do personally with my artwork. And if I can dedicate my 50 hours plus to my own thing, I know I can make way more money than this. You know what I'm saying? That So the money, that was one thing that kind of kicked me out of that job. And another thing was just I never gave up my artwork. You know, I left college, I graduated, and I went and I got that job because, you know, that's what you do after you graduate college. You go and get a real job, so they say. And that's pretty much the only reason that I did it. But when I did it, like those years of working there, I was turning into this 9-to-5 person, and I'm not a 9-to-5 person. And, you know, everything, like my artwork was still coming. People were still asking me to do different artwork for them, wood pieces, paintings, you know, different things for them. And I had to balance that with my 9-to-5. So, you know, all that together was just like, it pushed me to a breaking point to where I finally, you know, quit my job and just decided to do everything on my own, and haven't looked back ever since, and not planning on looking back ever. So
so you left the job, you decided to do, you know, with one of your businesses, painting, kind of full time. Obviously acquiring clients is always, you know, some of the toughest things, and you've had clients. You said you had clients in the past. I'm assuming things have picked up a lot since you quit your job, right? To where you can sustain and be able to live. Where did that breaking point? How were you able to have these influx of clients coming in? What was the change? What happened there?
As far as my artwork, well, honestly, I just have to say, first and foremost, I'm like very, very blessed to the point, like, every time I do something, I have people that will support it, you know, friends, family, things like that. So, like, throughout my whole life, every time I start a new business venture, there's a few people that's always there, you know, just for that initial jump start. I'm sure you have experienced that, like running a business. Once you start something new, you have that first spurt, and then the process of, you know, keeping that coming in consistently and all that, that's where the work comes in. But the way that I developed that was basically just by grinding, like, all day, every day, honestly. Like, from the time when I started Fresh Paints, I was basically searching for a style that I wanted to paint. So I kind of chose to do a pop art style as, like, a way to get my name out there, because I know that was popular, pop culture, you know. So I started painting Biggie and Tupac and Bob Marley and stuff like that. And painting stuff like that is what started to pick my business up, just painting pop culture icons and things like that. But sustaining all of that just came from grinding. And, like, honestly, that is, like, the only thing that I can really credit sustainable business to. Like, I haven't figured out how to market very well. I haven't figured out how to, you know, do Facebook ads and all this other stuff. But I sit back here, and I'm in my studio right now. So I'm back here in my studio, and I'll paint all day, every day. And whenever I can paint whatever I want to paint, I'll paint as much as possible. Don't go to sleep till I have to. Wake up, paint. Because I know that by the time I get tired, I will have made some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, something would have came out of this. So I guess what has kept the clients coming and sustained them to keep coming back and always acquiring new clients is just, I don't really look at the clients. Like, I don't go searching for them, if that makes sense. I kind of just keep my head in the artwork and kind of stay focused on what I'm doing. And God just brings people to me. Like, that's how I feel. Like, a lot of clients, you know, the business that I get, they're so random that I don't really know what to attribute it to but God. So I just keep focused on grinding, man.
No, that's amazing. I have the opportunity to follow you on Snapchat, and you do a lot of behind the scenes on Snapchat, whether it's, you know, 1 a.m. or 5 a.m. and you're still painting when people are waking up.
Yeah.
How's that experience like? What are people saying about it from people who watch it? Who's inspired? Kind of tell me about that process with Snapchat at least.
Hey, Snapchat gets the realest of the real, man. Like, I'm on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, but every platform gets something different. But Snapchat gets the realest of the real. So yeah, I'm on Snapchat till 5, 6, 7 in the morning sometimes. Just back here grinding. But I put that stuff on Snapchat, I guess, just because it's easier for me to upload snaps than it is for me to get on IG and do those stories and stuff like that. But as far as what comes out of it, man, like, I love when people come to me and tell me that they are inspired by what I'm doing. That often comes. People will be like, man, I see you in there grinding. Keep doing your thing. Like, just little words of encouragement and stuff like that. Like, to me personally, I'm doing it because I have a lot of goals that I want to meet. I got places that I want to go. And I feel like that's what's driving me is my goals and my visions and my dreams. But people that are seeing what I'm doing, people don't really know my goals, but they seeing that work ethic and they seeing the passion that I put into what I'm doing. They seeing that lack of sleep, and they seeing it on a whole different perspective. Like I said on my Snapchat the other day, like, I get really inspired when people tell me that they inspire, that I inspire them. Like, when people ever come up to me and say, hey, keep going, you inspire me, you're doing your thing, that inspires me, and that only makes me go harder, like, every time. That makes me go harder. That never makes me want to be comfortable. But personally, I always feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm not supposed to be lazy. I'm not supposed to not be working. I'm supposed to be working as much as I can work, like, all day, every day. So this whole, like, all-night grind, all-day grind, like, for me, I ain't going to say it's easy, but it's very natural. Like, I'm not really stepping out of my comfort zone to stay up all night. Like, I do this. So, I'm like, man, I'm already up all night. I might as well paint. And if I'm back here painting, like, let me just give a little insight to, people who follow me on Snapchat and stuff like that, just so they can kind of see what goes into fresh paints, you know what I'm saying? So, all in all, I guess I enjoy, all the positive feedback, but I'm not going into it looking to get any feedback. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going into it to kind of show what I'm doing. If you skip through all my snaps that day, because sometimes I snap too freaking much, I know that. But like, if you skip through all my snaps, it's cool. Like, but I just always want to give a little insight. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely, almost like a responsibility, right? Like, it's my responsibility to put in work, and, now that I've inspired people, I have to keep going. These people count on me, so to speak. Absolutely.
Exactly. Hey, if I can pause for the calls and run off of that point right there, I just want to say personally that I'm so glad that you are showcasing your journey and what you're doing with the 1% mindset, because that personally is very, very inspiring to me. And that's something that, I feel like it's very important for anyone that's going on a journey, finding themselves or finding their business or whatever it is. If you're going on a journey and you are able to take people along with you, I think that is very important, because you never know who's going to see it. You never know who needs to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like, I just wanted to say much respect to you and the 1% mindset, because all the videos that you put out, all the content that you create, I know you creating it with passion and with purpose. You never know who's listening to it, but you put it out there. And I done heard a bunch of your stuff, and I don't even tell you about half the stuff, and I don't comment on a lot of stuff, but I definitely am listening. I'm definitely, congrats on that half marathon the other day. I'm glad you made it back safely.
Appreciate it.
Bro, you very inspiring. So I just want to let you know that, keep going with your thing, bro.
I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna kind of see if I can jog your memory back a little bit. Do you remember the first painting you sold?
Yeah. The first painting on
what
canvas.
did you paint?
It was my first painting that it wasn't. It was a Muhammad Ali painting.
Muhammad Ali. Okay.
Yeah. classic Muhammad Ali
Okay,
painting.
wow. Nice. And you've done a lot of, I say you did a lot of paintings of celebs. I'm not sure if there's a certain name for it, but I know you painted a few. Can you talk about some of the people that you painted within pop culture that you were actually able to give them their paintings?
Yeah, so it started out with Webby. I did Webby on a Sunday night. Webby came to Sanford. I knew who the promoter was, so I was able to work with him, and together we gifted him the painting. From that, Webby has contacted me several times for more pieces. So
nice.
That itself, that's pretty much what jump-started everything. But like I said, that was on a Sunday night. Martin Luther King Day was the next day. That following day, I went to Tampa, and I was able to meet Harry Belafonte, present him with a painting. That
Amazing.
was probably the most life-changing one, because that one led to me doing a painting for Regina Hall, which is now hanging in a university in New York. And my most recent painting I did was for Will Packer, who is a Hollywood producer who did Stomp the Yard, Think Like a Man, Drumline, bunch of movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a painting of his dad, who is a USF alumni. So they asked me to do the portrait for his dad, who was getting honored for an award at USF. They asked me to do that after the whole Harry Belafonte thing went down. And yeah, so that's pretty much. Oh, and I did a piece for Black Youngster, and I think that's about all of the celebs I've done so far.
So I don't want to gloss over that, because there's a lot of big names in that, and there's many artists that and for you to do as many and present them is huge. So I kind of want to go into the mindset of that, because when you did that Webby, when you did the Webby painting, that wasn't at the time. That wasn't a paid portrait. There was something that you decided, you know what, I want to gift him this. I'm going to spend however many hours, and I want to put in the work and gift this to him to see what comes of it. Like, where was your mind there, or what was your thought process with doing that? Because obviously doing that, it was, quote unquote free work, right, at the time.
Right.
That obviously led to bigger things. But so what was your mindset when you were doing that? How did that come about?
My mindset for doing that is my mindset for life, and really, if you ever want to do anything in your life, if you ever have heard the term, whatever you want in life, you have to be willing to give it for free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically and I do so much paintings. Like, I give away a lot of free stuff, and I don't publicize the free stuff that I give away. But that Webby thing, it was just another painting. But I always envisioned myself painting for celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
So I stepped up to I had an opportunity in front of me, because Webby was coming to my hometown. I stepped up to the plate, and I offered him, I put in the work and gave him a free painting. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I put in the hours to do the painting. But to me, I always kind of overlook, I guess, that part of the process, because it's so natural to me just to be back here working and painting and stuff. So, giving him a paint for free was nothing major for me. But I knew that if I wanted to start painting for celebrities, then I had to start painting for celebrities. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to paint for a celebrity. I kind of just made, open my own door, I guess you'll say. You know what I'm saying? I created what I wanted to do. I had a vision, and I seen a way to make it happen, and I made it happen. You know what I'm saying? And that free gesture has led to paid gestures, you know what I'm saying, paid celebrity work. So, if you want something in life, be willing to give it away for free, basically. you know, anything, whatever it is.
What is your what painting that you've done have meant the most to you, and why?
Oh man, which painting has meant the most? Wow, that's crazy. Man, I don't know, but that's probably one of the hardest questions because, like, I done did so many. I'm going to say, all right, okay. Can I get, like, a top three? I think
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, give me a top three.
All right. Top three, okay, so boom. Top three, number one is going to be the first canvas painting that I ever did, and it was entitled Heartbeats, and it was just a heart, and it had on a pair of Beats headphones, and it was dope how I painted it, but, like, just the concept and everything about that painting just came from nothing besides me just sitting in front of a blank canvas, and I had, like, a few different colors of paint that I had bought from Walmart, and this was my first time ever doing this, so I just kind of just let it flow, and it came out very good. So I always missed that painting. I sold it. I wish I wouldn't have sold it. But that's my first one. My second one is the Ali painting, which was the first painting that I sold, which was pretty big, colorful. It had a quote in the background. That's my next most memorable painting, most valued painting, because when I painted that, I spoke to a guy whose name is Justin Perry. He has a channel on YouTube called You Are Creators, and this is actually one of the channels that kind of changed my life, honestly, and my perspective on life and stuff like that. But either way, I end up talking to this guy on the phone randomly, right? And he told me that I should get into street art and stuff like that. And I feel like he kind of he didn't plant that seed in my head, but I feel like he watered it, you know what I'm saying? He kind of confirmed something that I had always been thinking. And after he told me that is when I made that Muhammad Ali piece. And it was like a total different style of painting than I had ever done before. But it was kind of all from just having a phone conversation with him. So that's number two. And then number three is going to be the Harry Belafonte piece, because that is the most valuable painting I have done to this day, and that is the painting that I feel like has changed my life and the course of my life. So, yeah, those are the three.
Top three, no, those are three pieces, and I actually think I remember seeing all three. So that's cool to kind of see the process and where you've kind of evolved and where you're going. So that's amazing. I want to shift gears slightly, and we'll definitely go back to the painting. But you have another business, a clothing line, an apparel company.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Melanated Soul. Melanated Soul is a clothing brand for the culture. It's for, it's to inspire, uplift. It's a bold clothing brand, and it's just for my people. And the reason that I created that, Melanated Soul is actually the first business that I launched when I quit my job. So I launched Melanated Soul before Fresh Paints. But when I launched it, and the whole idea behind it and where it came from was, I'm from Sanford, Florida, and the whole Trayvon Martin thing went down in Sanford. And I went to all the rallies and everything that was going down and all this. And after that Trayvon Martin incident, I feel like it kind of started a movement. Like, I feel like the Trayvon Martin thing was basically the first incident that kind of started the whole Black Lives Matter movement hashtag thing. You know what I'm saying? It was right around in that time. So I think, a couple of years went by before I started to close in between when that happened and I started Melanated Soul. But in those couple of years, I was always searching for a way to reach out to my culture with my artwork and with my T-shirts, really, because I had only really been doing T-shirts up until that point. For a while, I had always been doing shirts. So I really just wanted to have something positive for my culture that they can look up to. Because at this time, I feel like after this Trayvon Martin thing, and now after that incident, it's so much negativity in the news when it comes to black incidents in the media. You know what I'm saying? People always getting gunned down, or people just always being portrayed as something lesser than we are. You know what I'm saying? So I really wanted to put something out there any way that I could to kind of combat that negative image and give my people a positive image to look up to. So that's how Melanated Soul was born. And like I already gave you the details. It's conscious, for the culture,
Absolutely. No, it's first of all, I have I guess probably one of your more popular hoodies, the Nessie. Is it called Nessie? The Nessie?
Yeah, the Nessie hoodie.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
The Nessie hoodie. So have the Nessie, and I get compliments on it all the time. Everyone's always asking where I get it from. So it's definitely an extremely powerful brand. Like you said, it stands out. It's for the culture. So, excellent. And how is that business running currently? And how do you balance both? I guess is the bigger question.
Oh man, how do I balance both? Okay, well, first of all, the business is going good. Melanated Soul is going good. Orders are always trickling in, so that's good. How am I able to balance both? Man, I work for myself, so I got to make it happen, bro. Like, I don't know, but I don't really know how to answer that question besides the fact that I don't have another choice. Like, when I started Melanated Soul, I never wanted to let it go. Like, I don't really care how big Fresh Paints get. I don't care how big I get or, like, what happens with me personally in my career. I always want Melanated Soul to keep going. Like, even if I don't have time to run it full time, like, I just feel like there's a need for positive images, and people wear shirts every day. So if I can put some positive stuff on some shirts, man, like I just can see a big impact on that. But how am I able to like run it? I don't have a choice. Like when the orders come in, I press them up and I ship them out. Like that's pretty much it, bro. Like I paint all night, and when I'm not painting, I'm making shirts, hats, shipping out orders and stuff from Melanated Soul. And when I'm not doing that, I'm asleep or I'm getting me a bite to eat. But I don't really sleep that much, as you know. So, I don't know, but I work like my life. That's my life is just work. I don't party. I don't really watch TV. Like all I do is work. That's it.
So, do you have any help right now? Is it just you running everything, or do you have any employees yet? Just you?
I don't have any employees, but I do have a few people that's been helping me out. So I'm gonna have to shout them out real quick. I got one of my brothers, DJ. He's been helping me just with some social media stuff. I have another brother named Alex. He's been helping me as well with some social media advertising and things like that. And I got another friend named Tori. She's been helping me with just some ideas. She also has a clothing brand called For the Culture, and her brand is dope, super dope. So, I mean, those are probably the three people that I kind of would say I got on my team, but they give me, I look to them for insight and just advice and help for certain things. Like as far as who is, designing, I design everything. I ship everything out. I fill all the orders, you know what I'm saying? Like I pretty much do all the work for the business as far as the hands-on stuff, but I do have those people behind the scenes that I always can call to for help or, ask them to do something for me on the social media aspect, and they always got my back on it. So, that's pretty much it.
Have you done any collabs? Any collabs with? I know you said you shouted out everything in the story for the culture. Any collabs with other painters or artists? Has there been any collabs happening or any in the works at all?
Nah, I haven't done any collabs yet. I'm
Is that
looking
something
to do
you would consider? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Man, honestly, I want to collab with whoever want to collab. So whoever hear this podcast, if you want to hook up with me, let me know. But I'm always down to help people out. And I feel like as a culture and as brothers and sisters, all of us have to help each other, especially as entrepreneurs. Like, if you own your own business, and I'm sure you can relate to this, man, like, the more connections that you can make and the more cross-promotion that you can do is beneficial for each party that's involved. So, like, I feel like as a culture, I always put my culture first. Like, I'm always looking out for my people because I really want to see my people get on top and come up out of this whole negative image that we have in this country. But I feel like anybody that has, any kind of business, if I can help you out, let me know. And if you can help me out, then, I'll let you know. But I don't really I ain't really big on the money, stuff like that, like, within reason, of course. But I'm always down with just helping, what I'm saying, just collabing, and like I say, cross-promotion. Like, if I can help promote your stuff and you can help promote my stuff, it's a win-win. So, always down to collab, always.
You mentioned earlier, you wanted to, paint for artists. Is there one particular artist that you have in mind, a goal or one of your goals as far as this particular artist, whoever it may be, that you would love to paint for or present a painting to that you have not as of yet?
Oh, man. I'm going to have to say Barack Obama. Yeah, I got to give Obama a paint one of these days. So it's going to happen. So.
No, absolutely. No, that's big. That's big. Now, excellent. Now, so we got the painting, Melanated Soul. Is there anything else on the creative end, whether from a business standpoint or a extra funds coming that you create or that you may sell?
Oh man, what do? I do a lot. I do so much. Melanated Soul. I got MLNDsoul.com. That's Melanated Soul. I have RavenFresh.com. That is the home of fresh paints. It's also the home of Sanford Shop. I have a Sanford Shop on there from Sanford, Florida, like I said earlier. So I have a lot of Sanford merchandise that I sell on my website and that I sell in person because I do a lot of vending around in Sanford. So, and my city is so small that we don't really have much representation. So I kind of just, made a clothing brand for my city. Not really a brand, but, different apparel items, hats and shirts and stuff like that. But either way, so that's on RavenFresh.com. And then what else do I got? Johnny Mustard Seed, the Mustard Seed Project. The Mustard Seed Project, we haven't talked about that, but I'm going to spend like 2 minutes max on this right here. So the Mustard
Absolutely.
Seed Project, the Mustard Seed Project is a project to spread faith. And I came up with this idea right around the time I was quitting my job, and I started this business right around the same time as I started Melanated Soul. And it's basically, I sell necklaces with a mustard seed inside, and it's to spread faith. This faith of a mustard seed will move mountains, which is a Bible verse. So that's where that business came about. But since I started that, I've been wearing my mustard seed necklace for years. Never took it off. And I look at it every day. And for me personally, I would say that this business, although it gives me the least income right now, I have the biggest vision for this business right here, because I don't even look at it as a business per se, but more of like a movement just to spread faith. And it's how I live my life, honestly. Like, especially, like I say, as an entrepreneur, working for myself, and I don't depend on anybody to give me anything. I don't have a paycheck coming every 2 weeks. Like, all I have to depend on is faith. And when I quit my job, well, slightly before I quit my job, I started wearing my necklace, and I've been wearing it ever since. And I think that this alone ties every business that I have together, and as well, it ties my whole journey to this point and beyond this point, because I'm not taking my necklace off. And like I say, every single day I look at this thing, man, it's like I never forget. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just a reminder for me that I'm not going back to, a place that I don't want to be. I'm always going to live my life, create my own life, because I know that's what I'm here for. And I know I'm here, to create and do artwork and, everything, all my visions that I have, I'm here to get those visions out. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of people have visions and a lot of people have dreams and goals and things like that, but they lack the faith. Like, so many people lack faith, but faith is the most important part of the whole thing. Like, without faith, I don't believe I would have sold any paintings. I don't believe I would have met any one of these celebrities, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that you know that you are going to do something before you do it, that's faith. Like, the fact that I quit my job and I said I'm not getting another job. I'm going to make it as an entrepreneur, and I'm not going back. That right there, that was my first step of faith, and that is what all my businesses are planted in. And that right there is, I feel like, what keeps blessings coming my way. Because, like, I have had job offers to go back to work since I quit my job that were kind of, they was looking pretty decent, but I'm not going back there because I always know, like, even when times get hard, sometimes I'll be scraping and make ends meet, but I'm not going back because I know I got so many gifts inside of me that I got to get out. You know what I'm saying? And all my visions, all my dreams. Like, I really believe in myself, and I really believe in all the things that I have and all my ideas that I have and all the talents that I have, because I know that I didn't create them. You know what I'm saying? Every time I get a good idea, I know it's not my idea. I understand that God gives me ideas. I understand that, God gave me my talents. You know what I'm saying? So I never take my stuff for granted. Like, I try to run all my business. That's why I got so many businesses, man. Like, I try to run everything that's in my mind that's important. I feel like it's supposed to be created, and it's up to me to do it. Like, so I live my whole life by that. So that's probably more than 2 minutes, but in a nutshell, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of the Mustard Seed Project overall, is just faith and to live by faith, which is the knowing. Not believing, but knowing that you can do whatever it is that you want to do or have whatever it is that you want to have. You have to know it. You know what I'm saying? And once you can believe strong enough to where it is now you know it, then there's nobody that can tell you different. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can talk you out of your dreams. Nobody can tell you can't be healed from whatever sickness that you have if you know that you can be healed. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, the Mustard Seed Project, when it started out, it started, I was doing a lot of running and stuff like that. I know I don't really run that much anymore, but that whole thing started, and I feel like God just told me to run. I was listening to a lot of Les Brown. He was telling you, run towards your dreams and things like that, and I think it was very metaphoric. And it was before any of my businesses really took off, like when I was running a lot of miles. And during all that running, I was finding myself, and I was just obeying God, doing what he told me to do and things like that. But I was also chasing something. I was chasing something that I didn't even know what I was chasing at that point. But it was just a feeling inside of me, like a desire. Like, I know it's something great in here that I have to get out, but I got to find it. So I think that running was like that meditation. You know what I'm saying? I used that to raise awareness for diabetes and raise money for diabetes and all that stuff. But Yeah, in a nutshell, I think that's the mustard seed project. That's probably like 5 minutes, man. Not bad.
You know, I mean, it seems like that's probably one of the most meaning. I mean, all your businesses have meaning, but this one seems like it's like really near and dear to your heart. Like it means, you know, probably the most to you so far.
It is.
You definitely see that. What else? I know you have wood. Is it fresh wood? Freshwood?
Freshwood. Yeah, I always forget about Freshwood.
See, you got so many businesses. I'm reminding you.
Yeah, you're right, bro. Yeah, so I started Freshwood in college, and you know, it's woodworking and making a lot. It's mainly Greek stuff, so a lot of Omega, Delta, Iota, Alpha, Kappa, Sigma, all these different organizations, mostly Divine Nine stuff. But I'm making paddles and staffs and display boards and different wall plaques and all different stuff like that. So that's my whole woodworking thing. But what I have done with that, I started that in college. Right after I started painting T-shirts, I was painting T-shirts and doing woodwork at the same time at one point. And when I left college, I actually I slowed down a lot. I kind of stopped taking orders for Freshwood for a while when I was working full-time in my other job. And since then, I have a friend, one of my brothers that I grew up with. I taught him the trade. So, now I call on him to do a lot of my woodwork for me. You know what I'm saying? Not for me. We work together on it. But, I have somebody with Freshwood. I actually have somebody that I can be like, all right, I got this order coming in, knock this portion out of it for me, and then I'll finish that up. Because woodworking is a lot more detailed than making T-shirts and stuff like that, which is why I can kind of do all the melanated soul by myself. But Freshwood, as it stands now, it's me and my buddy Garen. And, whenever I need something or whenever I get some orders coming in, I'll holler at him, and between both of us, we'll knock it out. And, if you want anything done, we open for business. So let me know. Like I say, I mostly do Greek stuff with that, but not limited to Greek stuff. Do pretty much anything. So.
Is there any other business that I've missed?
Oh man, well I had RL Custom Homes. You know what I'm saying? I was doing that as well once I had quit my job. Because like I said, I grew up doing home repair with my dad. So I kind of just started doing it on my own. I did a few projects with that business. But when fresh paint started to take off, I had to leave RL Custom Homes in the dust, So I don't really do home repair stuff anymore. Like occasionally, if somebody wants a wall painted or a room painted or something that I can knock out real quick, I do it. But I was doing like roofing work. I was doing bathroom remodels. I was doing like additions on houses. I was doing big projects that was taking weeks and weeks and weeks and months sometimes. So I don't really have the time to devote to stuff like that now that, fresh paints is kind of taking off. So, yeah, we don't really got to talk about that.
No, that's good. So, all right, so we covered a wide plethora of businesses. I mean, they say you need at least 6 streams of income, and it seems like you're well on your way doing that. So definitely congratulations to that, and really understanding, the impact and really understanding you have a God-given ability and to utilize it and to really put yourself out and create for people.
Right.
With that being said, what do you want to say to any creative, whether it's an artist, any kind of artist, or whatever that looks like, who's kind of tiptoeing that fence of kind of taking that next step like you did? What advice could you give them?
Oh, man. The best piece of advice I can give to any creative person would be quit your job. And that got to be the craziest thing to say. But, I mean, and it might not even be the right thing to say in everybody's case. But I know for me personally, that alone helped me just to open my mind. Like, when I quit my job, my mind flourished, which is why so much has come after I quit my job. But if there's a very difficult struggle period in the beginning, like, but if you got all day, every day to figure out the rest of your life, that is going to be more beneficial to you in the long run, I feel like, than only using 2 or 3 hours after you get off work to kind of work on your dream or your passion or whatever. So, I mean, I know a lot of other successful entrepreneurs are going to definitely say work 2 jobs or whatever. Some, I don't know. I definitely heard, I know Damon, he say work 2 jobs or work your job and then do your passion after work and all that. He created FUBU. So I ain't really trying to go against what he say, but I know what worked for me personally, man, I just had to quit my job and just depend on God, like, honestly. Like, once I quit my job and I had no other source of income, then it was like, all right, it's me versus the world. Like, it's me versus this circumstance. It's me, you know what I'm saying? I have all these ideas. I got all these talents. Now it's time to see what they can do. Like, I got to bring some money in. I got to live. So what can I do? But I got all day, every freaking day to think about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live this now. I'm not concerned about going to work tomorrow or what I didn't get done at work yesterday. You know, like I ain't concerned about no other person's problems on the 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I'm concerned about in my life, besides my family, my kids, and everything, is my future and my dreams and my talents that I have right now. Developing my talents to make my dreams, you know what I'm saying, come true so I can have a super bright future. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Like, if you got a job, quit your job whenever you can. Maybe not like today or tomorrow, but whenever you can, like, start planning for that moment. Start planning for the moment you're going to quit and you're going to go full time and what you're going to do. And if you can have a blueprint ahead of you before that time, that's good. So you ain't just walking out there in the dark. But, you know, if you wait, if you wait for the time to be right to start something great, then you never gonna get started. Like, there's never gonna be a right time to start anything. Honestly, like, all the circumstances never line up to do things. You kind of have to create stuff, and if once you start living by that, like, every single day, create. You know, you have a new day to create your life. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably my one biggest thing. You know. Oh, besides that, have multiple streams of income. Never depend on one income stream as an entrepreneur. You know, always have multiple streams of income. So when one thing kind of slow down, you got something else that's going to, you know, hold you up. So, yeah, that's probably the top 2 right there.
Well, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I think that's extremely important. But I do want, you know, for the people to understand, once you did quit your job, this man works tirelessly, you know, day in, day out, exactly. Sunday through Saturday, up at 5 a.m., doesn't party. So if you decide to make that step into working for yourself, into being in business for yourself, into creating on your own, you have to understand no one is going to hold you accountable but you, right? You have to have the discipline and the structure to be able to create on your own. So, you know, and you live that, right? So you can say you can say quit your job, but you're actually living it. You know, you see the snaps, all that stuff. So, you know, definitely salute to that. It's not something that you're just saying. You have to live what it is that you want to do.
Right.
And I think that's crucial.
I think it's important also to be doing what you love. Like, if you're going to quit your job for any reason to chase any passion or any dream, you need to make sure that it's what you love to do. Like for me personally, I had been creating for so long. I create. That's what I do. I'm not just a painter. I'm not just a person who makes shirts. I'm not just a person who does graphic design stuff. I do everything. Like, I just have an eye for creating. I like to create. I love to create. Like, I can create as long as I'm awake and my eyes will allow me to focus. I can create. I don't have to. I find joy in that. I don't have to watch TV. I don't have to go out and party and all that stuff. Just me loving that so much makes it easy for me to do it all day, every day, and not have to want to go out and party and stuff like that. So instead of me going out and spending money, doing crazy stuff, whatever, I'm making money. So that's the only way that I have been able, I think, to kind of keep going. And I'm pretty sure any entrepreneur, like, unless you just get $1 million real quick, $1 million really ain't that much these days, but unless you just hit it big really, really quick, which is not normal, most entrepreneurs have a very long grinding period where they just grind. A lot of people start in their garages, a lot of people start in their parents' house, their parents' basement or whatever, but they grind, you know what I'm saying? And that's all they do. They kind of live it, eat it, breathe it, and if you love to do it, it's easy. If you don't love to do it, it's going to be like the hardest thing ever. And if you don't love it, I would not suggest quitting your job unless you know that you love it, because you're just going to find yourself in a couple months going to look for another job. But like I say, like, once I quit, I'll put in my mind I'm never getting another job. I'll never work for anybody else because I understand my talents and I love my talents. I love what I'm blessed with and what I'm able to offer other people. You know what I'm saying? I think what drives me more is the fact that when I give people stuff, they like it and they love it. You know what I'm saying? People love my work. So I know that, I definitely have an eye for certain stuff. And all that stuff, like, that stuff just keeps me going, and it keeps my passion, like, with a fire underneath it. So it's not hard for me to work 20 hours a day sometimes, like, for real, and only get that little hour nap. And the only reason I nap is because my eyes be hurting, like, I don't got no choice. But as soon as I can wake up and be good, and I'm right back at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. I eat it. Like, today I woke up, I made a sandwich. I came back here and started painting, and I ate half of my sandwich before I started painting. I didn't eat the other half till after I stopped, which was like 4 or 5 hours later. You know what I'm saying? But that's just like, that stuff don't really matter. Like, sometimes time just don't exist when you love what you're doing. But it's going to take that passion and that love for what you're doing to keep you going and to keep you motivated and fueled throughout your whole journey of entrepreneurship, of life in general. You know what I'm saying? If you want to live a life worth living. But I feel like if you just want to work for somebody your whole life, or retire whenever retirement comes at 65, whatever, then, hey, some people, somebody's somebody for everything, but that ain't for me. So, that ain't for me. So.
That's real. Man, I first of all, again, I appreciate you being on the podcast, man. You dropped a ton of gems. So thank you. Thank you for that. Is there anything, any final words? And also within those final words, you can definitely give them any social media handles or websites as well, just to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, just to wrap it up, I'm going to definitely do some shout-outs, all of my social medias, Instagram, Ravin Just Fresh, Ravin with an I, RAVIN JUSFRESH. That's my personal Instagram. Then I have Fresh Paints with a Z at the end. I have Mustard Seed Project. That's the project. That's the Instagram for the Mustard Seed Project, at Mustard Seed Project. What else do I got? I got follow Bless the Bless. Bless the Bless is my brother's Feed the Homeless organization, and his initiative that he has is very inspiring. So I always like to be involved in what he got going on. So Bless the Bless, like I said, it's an initiative to feed the homeless. I think it's Bless to Bless, yeah, on Instagram, Bless to Bless. What else do I got? All other shout outs. Man, I really have to shout out the community at the University of South Florida, and specifically all my frat brothers and the community that holds me down personally, because honestly, that community, you included, Mr. 1% Mindset himself, you know what I'm saying? Y'all always inspire me to do more and to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And to kind of, I guess, just be bigger, you know what I'm saying? Bigger than myself. That's really how I view a lot of things in general. Just trying to be bigger than myself, because I feel like life is really not about you. It's about who you can impact and things like that, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are driven to impact people through business, or to impact people through nonprofits, or to impact people through, podcasts, or, influential motivational speeches and things like that. Like, any kind of way I feel like you can help the world, whatever you have inside of you that'll help the world, you know what I'm saying, be big on that level. So I feel like the University of South Florida, everybody who came in with me, especially my frat brothers and a ton of other people, they always are motivation for me to just kind of keep living for other people beyond myself. Keep trying to always reach other people and bring them up with me, you know what I'm saying, build that bigger audience so that I can inspire, a bigger audience of people, or help a bigger audience of people and things like that. So I think that's good with the shout outs, because I could shout out my mom and my daddy and all that, but they already know what's up. So I think that's about it.
Smooth. Well, man, I definitely appreciate that. You didn't mention it. Also, if you're looking for Melanated Soul, at MLNDSOUL at Melanated Soul on IG. Also, that's the site, MLNDsoul.com as well. So definitely go out, support, get a shirt, get a hoodie. Again, I get a lot of great compliments when I rock the hoodie, and I'm in New York, so I have to have the hoodie at least 9 months out the year.
Hey, that's what's up. Shout out to you for being one of my first customers as well, bro. You was in that first wave of customers, bro. So I definitely shout out to you. Like I said, is that initial wave kind of sets the tone, I think, for the business. And I don't know, bro. But shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to you. I just want to let your audience know, 1% Mindset, that me and the 1% Mindset going to do a marathon in 2019. So look out for that. I just signed him up for that just now. So
I think about retiring, but I guess not. But,
marathon, bro. You did half. We got to do a full marathon together. Mustard Seed Project, 1% Mindset. Let's do it. What's up?
All right. Well, I mean, hey, if you feel about it, I guess you can make it happen. Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, man. Thank you again for being on. Definitely check out the website, ravenfresh.com. Check out all the many businesses he has. Hit him up, man. He's done a lot of amazing things. Thank you so much again for being on. And if you have, again, like you said, he gives definitely, he's definitely open to speaking to you. So any artists, creatives, whatever the case may be, follow him on all platforms. If you want the exclusive stuff, follow him on Snap. Is that Ravin Just Fresh as well?
Ravin Just Fresh on Snap. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I believe Ravin Just Fresh. No T in the Just. So, yeah, follow him. Again, man, I appreciate you guys. We'll talk. Peace.
Peace.